everybody, welcome back to the Essential Owl. Erin here. I'm going to be making another custom order cold process soap. You may notice something a little bit strange and that is because I have started mixing stuff together and I forgot that I wanted to record. So what I have here is my base oils mixed with some mica already. I don't usually do it in that order, but this soap is going to be mainly one color. Sorry, I'm putting my gloves on here. Mainly one color with, I'm going to try to do an in the pot swirl with a darker blue. This will not stay this dark, I don't think, once I add the lye water in. So the base is going to be blue, and the blue that I'm using today is this Klein Blue Mica Powder from Nurture Soap. I love this blue. It's so pretty. It's a very good, almost a royal blue color, if you can see that. I know it's kind of dark, but that is the blue that I'm using. And for the swirl, I just took some of this blue mica and mixed it with a little bit of activated charcoal to make a darker blue, almost a blacky blue. So that's the plan. I've already got the charcoal and the Klein Blue in here, and it does look pretty black on camera, and again it will lighten up once I add the actual lye water to the batter, because it always does. So, the fragrance that I am using today is this one. Well, let me turn around so you can see it. And of course the camera doesn't want to cooperate. Hello, focus on me, please. Come on. I need a camera with autofocus. Either way, this is Fresh Snow from Brambleberry. It smells really, really good. And despite the name, this is not a Christmas or even really a wintry fragrance. It reminds me of the smell of laundry detergent almost, and that sounds a little bit strange, I know, but it's a really fresh, clean, ozone-y sort of smell. It's almost a little bit sweet even. And this fragrance oil was specifically requested for this particular soap in this custom order. I have another soap that I made with this same fragrance oil a couple of months ago, and I had that with me when I was speaking to the customer about her custom order, and she loved it. She loved that fragrance, and she requested that I make one of her soaps with that fragrance oil, so that's what I'm going to be doing today. You can see my table's a little bit dirty. I'm not worried about that. I made soap last night. I'm going to be making soap all day today. After this, I've got 2 more to fill for her order, and then I need to make one for myself as well. So, without further ado, let's jump right into the making. I will be straining my lye water today because I mixed the solution up last night to make sure it was ready to go. And I do have a little bit of lye lint, which ordinarily I don't tend to worry about lye lint that much, but it's quite a bit because it sat for so long. So I just want to be sure. I don't want to get any large lye pieces in there that won't incorporate into the soap. That would be a nasty surprise for whoever would use it. So let's get started. Alrighty, so that's pretty good. I had to go in and add a little bit more mica because it turned a weird gray-green color, and that could just be this blue morphing a little bit. It might go back to a bright blue. Some colors do morph, especially greens. I think I talked about this in one of my last videos. But greens do tend to morph. Purples will sometimes morph. Most of the time they change back, but sometimes they don't. So, I don't know what's going to happen, you guys. But I wanted to make sure that blue was coming through in this soap. So, I think it did okay. I'm just kind of scraping the bowl here, making sure, whoa, making sure that everything is all real good and mixed together, which it seems to be. So, I don't see any mica hanging around the edges of the bowl, not really, a little bit there. So, I think that's good. Yeah. So that's the color we ended up with. It's a pretty dark blue. It's darker than I intended, but that's okay. Sometimes things just work out a certain way. It will be nice to go back to my regular recipe though, because like I mentioned in one of my last videos regarding this custom order, she requested a specific oil to be in these soaps, and it's a very dark green oil, so it changes the way that things look. It changes the way that I expect things to look, so it's a little bit strange, but that's okay. I'll do what she wanted for sure. So I'm going to be doing an in the pot swirl. I've done this several times in several different soaps, so I'm not going to be doing much of this other color. I might end up adding more charcoal to this. I'm just mixing this up. I didn't add enough oil to this charcoal mica mix, so it kind of clumped up at the bottom. I might hit this with a stick blender. I think this batter's fluid enough that I could get away with it. I think that's what I'm going to do. Maybe add a little bit more charcoal. I don't feel like there's enough of a difference there. I didn't add very much to it, so it could stand just a touch more. It kills me looking into this jar. It just looks like a pit of nothing. This charcoal is so dark. I love it though. Activated charcoal is really good for your skin. It's just great. Okay, that's definitely darker. That's much closer to what I wanted. It's definitely not black, but if you just glanced at it, you might think so. But it's very, very dark blue. Okay, so this is the color we ended up with. Let me pull it out on the spatula so you can actually see. I hope it's not coming across as just black on the camera, but it looks like it might be. There's definitely some hints of blue in there, I promise. Alright, so now we've got that all done. Give this a good stir. Make sure I didn't have any separation or anything. This is going to be an interesting swirl, I think, because I stick blended the small one, so it thickened it just a touch more than this big pot here. So it's gonna make a little bit of an interesting swirl, I think, having two different consistencies there. Okay, so here's my pot. I'm gonna go in and pour. And pour close to the surface, because I don't want all of the dark color to go straight to the bottom. And then I'm just going to scrape this out. Hopefully without spilling a bunch of it. Y'all know me, I'm messy. That's probably not going to happen. Alright, so now that's all mixed in together. Now what I'm going to do is put my spatula in and just give it a few good swirls. Not too much, because I don't want to muddy it. I definitely want to get some defined swirls, but yeah, that's really cool looking. Okay, happy. Now it's time to pour. All right, let me angle this so that everyone can see. Okay, I adjusted the lighting just a little bit so that you all could see into this mold a little bit better, and it looks like it just changed back. Oh, there we go. Okay, so hopefully you all can see this pour as it happens. I love watching soap and paint and stuff like that get poured. It's so satisfying for some reason. So here we go. All right, so there was that. Now I'm just going to scrape this out. Don't want to waste any of this for sure. Okay, now I'm just going to shake this, kind of evenly distribute it. There we go. Now, I think what I'll do is maybe swirl it just a little bit. Where are my pipettes? Just a little bit. Okay. So, I'm going to go in and just swirl this top just a little bit for some interest. I don't know what I'm doing, y'all. Let's do figure eights, because why not? All right. This fragrance behaves so nice. To my soaper friends and viewers, if you haven't used this fragrance, Fresh Snow from Brambleberry, I highly recommend it. It doesn't necessarily slow down trace, but it definitely does not speed it up at all either. My batter is thickening now, but that's not because of the fragrance. It's because of my water discount. So don't let my batter scare you off of this fragrance. It's super nice, very clean, very fresh. It's called Fresh Snow, but it's not a wintry smell. At least that's not the impression that I get when I smell it. So I highly recommend. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to do to the soap. I think it's going to, it's a fairly simple soap, but I think it's going to look really nice. I don't want to do too much to it, especially since I've already swirled the top. And I think it's going to be really cool. That swirl is super subtle. It's almost like a ghost swirl, so I think that's going to be really cool. I'm excited to see what the inside looks like. Sometimes when I do in the pot swirls, I get super heavy defined swirls, and sometimes they're really wispy, like the Roman Chamomile Lavender soap that I made last night. Okay, let's bring you all in for a close-up. So here's what we got going for us. Can you see that swirl? Very super light, not super defined, very subtle, very pretty. I like it. It is a little bit gray, and I think that it might be morphing a little bit. It might calm back down into a blue rather than a gray, but even if it stays gray, it definitely has hints of blue in it. So I'm not that mad about it. I'm really pretty happy about it. I don't do soaps with very few colors in it like this. I mean, there's only 2 colors in this, so it's nice to have a little bit of a change. But there you have it. There is the Fresh Snow custom order soap that we just made. If you like this video, let me know. Leave me a comment. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you don't want to miss any of my uploads, and I will bring you all back for the cut in just a few hours. Bye-bye.